Before we start the class, let's take a quick look at the application, understand some of the functionality, and then take a peek into the code so we kind of know what we're getting into before we start looking at the security around this application. So I've downloaded this from GitHub and just installed it on my desktop. I'm in the current folder, 1 Month Simple, and as you can see, it contains the standard files of a Rails application, the app folder, db, config, things like that. So the first thing we want to do is just run the Rails S command to run the server locally. Okay, cool, that worked. There's no problems. So now let's just copy the address here, and then I'm going to switch over to the browser and then throw that in there, and let's see. Okay, cool, it came up. And you can see back here, there's the request. So my browser is making all these requests for these files. We're going to take a deeper look at all these things later, but just good enough to know that it's working. All right, so let's look at the app. This app is called 1 Month Simple, and it's a basic payroll and HR application. So when you first get there, get to the site, the only thing you see is a login page. You can also sign up if you don't have an account yet. Email, first name, last name, password, confirm password. For us, we already have an account, so I'm just going to log in. My account is john@onemonthsimple.com. You can see it's right there. onemonthsimple.com. My password is just password. All right, so let's log in and take a look. So when you log into the application, the first thing you're going to see is the dashboard. So in the dashboard, we've got this kind of crazy animation going on, whatever. And then it's the statistics of your HR and payroll stuff. So you can see the PTO you've taken, 25 are available, sick days you've had, your income, your performance score, that's like reviews, and then how much you've donated to your 401k. Okay, that sounds great. Let's see. Diving in a little bit more, we have different pages. So on this one is your benefits form. You've got some forms that it looks like you can download here, some PDFs, as well as upload insurance forms. All right, so that's some interesting functionality to think about, uploading and downloading files. You also have your 401k information, which is some financial information about how much you're contributing, which is obviously very personal info. PTO, so it's a calendar of days that you have on vacation, things like that. All right. Work info shows your employee information, so that's your income, bonuses, social security numbers in there, date of birth, so obviously very sensitive information as well. Performance shows your performance score over time and some of your performance reviews. So that's good. Messages allows you to send messages back and forth to other users on the system and to give you updates like you can see on this one as your benefits have been updated. And then Pay provides an interface into the banking system. So you can put in your bank information and have the company pay you through direct deposit. All right, so that looks pretty much it on this application. So there's a decent amount of functionality, but nothing seems too crazy. Up here, you have our name, so welcome John. Looks like you can change the font size, which is interesting. We'll take a look at that later. There's also this is, I guess, our icon for our user. There's an account settings page. So in here we have email, first name, last name, passwords. They're almost the same as the sign up. And then log out. Okay, that seems pretty straightforward. Let's take a look at the code. So I like to open things up in Sublime Text. And in here you can see I've got the whole folder, 1 Month Simple at the root, and then everything that's in there. So like I said earlier, this is a pretty standard Rails application. One thing we should look at is the app folder. So in the app folder, we have a bunch of controllers. So let's just take a look at those to make sure we understand those. One thing that's interesting to note that we didn't see in the user interface is this API. So there's a mobile controller and a user's controller. Interesting. So we'll come back to those later. Admin controller, all the standard controllers for things that we saw. That makes sense. The same down here for the models. Okay, and then in the views, we pretty much have the exact same mapping views, configuration, DB, logs, standard stuff. Okay, so this all looks great, and I think that makes a lot of sense. One thing to to know is just, this is a local application we're running. We shouldn't run this on a public-facing website or anything like that, because this is a website with a lot of vulnerabilities. So with that, that's the quick tour of the application, and let's start getting into the hacking.